Welcome to the Crypto Teacher Stock Channel. Guys, please like and subscribe if you do like what you're listening to. Please inform your friends and family and spread all over social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. Now, guys, we're going to get into the Fed and Tesla today. Now, basically, as we know, the Fed came out and said they're going to keep rates near zero until 2023. Now, is this correct, guys? No, we know this is not correct. Now, I touched on a little bit on the crypto channel, but we know this is not correct. Once this election happens, guys, the whole paradigm shift is about to happen, and we know we're going to be moved over to crypto. I started this stock channel because a lot of people are into stocks, but they don't know all stocks, Forex, all that is going to be moved over. Gold, silver, all of it is going to be moved over to blockchain. Now, guys, we know at zero interest rates, our pensions are not being paid for. So basically, the elderly, they're not getting any interest on their savings, and then plus the pensions are not being paid for because that's how they pay for the fees. And then recently, of course, Donald Trump did an executive order as far as with payroll tax deferral, but basically that's taking away money from Social Security unless they pass a bill. So at the end of the day, it's only the middle class that keeps getting hit. Guys, the C word was only to do what? Take away the physical dollar, move us over to digital, and then plus with all this technology, move us over to the digital age. I know those who are new to the stock channel haven't heard me on the crypto channel. Please check out the crypto channel. I give more info in regards to this, and I will have more of that on this channel also. Now, guys, the repo, as far as with the checks that are being cut, they're cut every Tuesday. So the Fed is cutting these checks every Tuesday, funding these stocks. Now, of course, they're buying, I think, is over 800 stocks. So we saw the pump, we saw the stock market. Like Trump said, we were going into a V shape because the Fed is buying everything. That's why. It's not people, it's the Fed buying everything. They want to be the last resort. So basically, if you look at, I did put in here a few of the stocks, AT&T, Verizon. You see the list, and you can go and look up the list. I'll leave a link, so therefore you can actually look at the list. But the fact is that it's almost over. But on my crypto channel, I researched the list and I put the ones that I like. And if you had invested back in March, you would have quadrupled or 10 times your money, because I clearly saw where this was going. I know how the Fed works. Now we have BlackRock, who has purchased bonds, ETF, billions and billions of dollars. It's acted like the fourth branch of the government. So basically, we have the Fed buying, we have BlackRock buying for the actual Fed. Now, why is this important with the stock market? Because we know that a lot of these stocks are 13, 16 times earnings or no earnings. So if you look at Nikola, the electric company, look at Tesla, they don't have any profits. They're being pumped for future, that's what they call it, future earnings, what they expect in the future. So we know that Tesla is going to have a correction. Yes. Do you want to put your money in it right now while the Fed is cutting checks and pumping? Yes. You want to play the game. They have the battery being released this week. Yes, you want to play the game. Apple has tons and tons and tons of cash. But still, the Fed is still funding them. And the fact is, guys, don't forget that also with them funding us, they create a secondary market also, a secondary facility. And I went over the 11 facilities on my crypto channel they created. But don't forget, all these corporations bought trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars of their own stock. So the fact is, they got killed in that downturn. So therefore, what did the Fed do? Bail them out. That's all this was about. It was bailing them out for buying their own stock, guys. That's all this was about. And just like I said, getting us off the physical currency and getting us over to a cashless society. But and when you look at Tesla, their products, and those who are not conscious, I'm going to bring you to consciousness. Because I know a lot of people love uh, Elon Musk. Now, Elon Musk is just a puppet for the New World Order. Starlinks, the rockets, all that was from the Nazis, von Braun, and all that comes from Operation Paperclip. Everything that you see him in, if you go to Neuralink, if you go and research Operation Paperclip, it leads right back to it. He's just a puppet that's presenting it. That's it. If you go back, Donald Trump's uncle was the first person inside of Tesla, Nikola Tesla papers. So guys, you have to understand the full picture. And don't forget, guys, basically Elon Musk has a very, very big compensation package. And that will hit the numbers and affect the stock. So I want to make sure you understand that. But let's get into Monday. What I'm looking at, guys, remember, I'm not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But the fact is, the ones that I'm actually looking at, of course, I went over the cheap chip stocks. I'm looking at those. I went over that in a video previously on this channel. Also, of course, I'm looking at Apple, I'm looking at Oracle, and I'm looking at Tesla. Now, the sleepers that I'm actually looking at, guys, and you have my Cash App now. If you hit big, don't be greedy now. Now, the sleepers I'm looking at is Sorrento Therapeutics, and I'm looking at Kodak. Kodak, of course, got that correction after getting that big pump and all that money. So I'm expecting to go back up. And, of course, Sorrento is on the C word. Well, actually, both of them attached to the C word now. But the fact is, those are the ones that I'm actually looking at. And just like I stated, my Cash App is below. Don't be greedy. Share, guys. Now, of course, that's all I have for you guys. Please like and subscribe. Get the channel out. I'm going to definitely have you prepared for what's about to happen. I'm going to leave you a video about the Fed, and y'all have a wonderful day.
The Fed today going where no Federal Reserve has gone before. Scheduled this morning to have begun the corporate bond buying program, where it will buy primary issues, secondary issues, and ETFs, which include high yield debt. All of those are kind of first timers for the Fed. Let's look at that program. The primary one, not launched yet, is the biggest part of it. $500 billion where it will buy new issues of corporate bonds. The $250 billion program, that's what it launched today. And that's where it's going to buy secondary issues. And what the Fed says is an efficient way of buying these secondary issues is buying these ETFs. Inside these ETFs are going to be fallen angels, which the Fed can buy, but also some speculative grade credit, though the Fed says it's not really trying to buy that stuff. It's just going to buy it as part of the other part of the program, the Treasury providing a $75 billion backstop. So who's eligible? Who can play in this game? Well, you have to be U.S.-based or substantially U.S.-based, have a lot of workers here. You have to have bonds rated above certain levels. You can't get any other support from the CARES Act. And you have to meet conflict of interest rules, which preclude the president, the vice president, members of Congress. Now, the Fed has yet to launch other CARES Act programs, including the Main Street Lending Facility, the Municipal Bond Facility, TAL programs. We understand they're working on those pretty carefully. And Randy Quarles, the vice chairman for bank supervision, saying today in testimony, there may be more yet for the Fed to do, Kelly.
Wow. And by the way, Steve, we had this whole negative rates discussion that you talked about yesterday. Fed policy members are resistant about, but I don't know. I just wonder if there's going to be a groundswell if they'll ultimately come around to it.
Well, if we could meet at a restaurant one of these days and have a steak, and you're right, they do negative rates, I'm happy to buy. If we can meet at a restaurant and we can buy a steak.
I don't want to be right. Steve, that's the problem. I'm not trying to convince you or anybody.
I mean, look, never say never is the right answer to that question. That's certainly what Raphael Bostic said yesterday. I think my point is the right one, that the Fed will try to do a whole bunch of other things before it has to resort to negative rates. It may be worth pointing out that the president urged the Fed to go to negative rates. I think there's a lot more the Fed will try to do before it goes into that.